Happy Wednesday. How you doing? I got that thing in my throat again. No Uncle Brian lifters, none during the week. Been coming back once in a while. Anyway, how'd Jabba make out in court yesterday? Any mention of that? He did say he had a court date on the 20th. Then again, now if it's mentioned to him, he'll probably deny that. You know, anything to do with the house that he said he'll be able to deny. You know, using the N-word. Once again, he's trying to deny it. Didn't try, he did deny it, even though, you know, he said it. It's there. Some of us have it saved. He's admitting to it, which some of us have it saved. You know, he'll be able to, I'll tell you, this worked out great switching channels. Everything that, you know, was incriminating against him and now suddenly gone. Hey, that worked out real good for him, didn't it? Well, I did hear something. In all honesty, it's not funny. I know it. The only funny thing I could look back on and laugh is what I did. You know, that kind of pissed somebody off. I know what that's like. He said a tree came down on his property. It didn't hit the Bel Air, but it hit, I guess you got a PT Cruiser there. It hit the Cruiser and it hit the Olds. Took down power lines, so now he's in a hotel room for 30 days. They're putting him up in a hotel room, I guess, while they restore power lines and do whatever they're going to do to the city, you know. Kind of sucks, though. Didn't he say he had the new Remax real estate agent's husband that was going to buy it? Now he's going to lose out on that sale. You know what I heard about that car? Told people he bought it. He didn't buy it. That car ended up being given to him. So, you know, looking back, you know, Jabba, sometimes, man, you let your mouth get away from you. And you are your own worst enemy. And what you say comes back to bite you in the ass, you know. That was a lady's car. That was when he was restoring cars. It was the lady's husband's car that died. And she wanted to get, and he had let it go. It was pretty much in the condition it is now. Because she wanted it restored, you know, in memory of her husband. So she asked Jabba to restore it. She had it towed to Jabba's house. She gave Jabba a bunch of money to restore it. And then time went by. He didn't do anything to it. Kept her fucking money. And then she just finally gave up on it. He said, well, she changed her mind after a while. So she said, look, you can just keep the car. Along with the money I gave you, you didn't spend a fucking dime on it. You know what I mean? He said she gave him the title, but the title is in some other lady's name. It's not even in that lady's name. It's in some other lady's name. So I don't know much about that. You know. I could probably ask my daughter, my Chelsea, that had my Benji. She's still out of work on a maternity leave. You know, she's a office manager at a big Ford dealership, part of the Empire Auto Group. And she got to go to take classes. She's certified by the registry. What a lot of dealers are doing now. Remember before you go buy a car at a dealer, they had to send a salesperson to the insurance company and then the registry, get the plates, come back. So when the person came to pick up the car, the plates run, they had the registration. Well, a lot of them don't do that anymore. Well, big car dealerships, not the little rinky-dink, you know, second-hand car dealerships, you know. So she's certified. Right from her office, she has plates sent right from the registry. Titles sent right from the registry. Someone comes in, they buys a car. She contacts their insurance company, has everything faxed over, gets it back, issues the plates with a title. The person picks up their car, the plates are on it, they have their registration. The title, if it's financed, the title gets sent to the bank. Till it's paid off, then the owner gets it. Everything is done right there in-house, you know. A lot of them are doing that these days. And it's actually a pretty good system, you know. I'll ask her how titles work. Maybe she would know, but she deals in new cars, so I don't know if she know about all the shenanigans that people are doing, selling their cars, you know, private party and shit like that. But anyway, I'm kind of curious. If you know, let me know how that would work if he was going to sell that to his new Remax insurance agent's husband. How would be able to sell them a car with a title that's in a third party, that's an unknown person. They don't even know who the fuck this person is. How would be able to be signed over to him? If you know, let me know. But anyway, I was going to lose out on that sale. And at the same time, I said, hey, you know what? For once you got a good look at his house, it's a fucking shack. It's an absolute fucking shack. It looks like, you know those mobile homes without wheels? You just drop them on a concrete slab somewhere in a trailer park. That's what it's like. Narrow, a little long. It's like, a little length and narrow, very narrow. Pitched roof. Says, and it's so fucking, even on the listing when it was up on Zillow, because it's not listed on Remax, they just have the property history. It was sold at one time for $98,000, and it doesn't look like there was any home improvements done on it since then. The structure or the property, it's so fucking run down. So the land itself, it looks like a fucking jungle. It would take a ton of money just to clear the fucking land. The home structure, it even said on the Zillow that did give all the breakdown on the specifications. It's got no basement, no nothing. It was dropped. It's one of those real cheapy houses that you see in a trailer park. It's a fucking trailer park house. That's what it is. A trailer park home. It's just wood instead of fucking aluminum walls. You know what I mean? And who knows? Maybe that thing does have aluminum walls painted. You can't tell the fucking difference. He says, and it looks real fucking run down. Real fucking run down. It's got a little, see the front entrance door where he walks in that screeches? It's got like a little overhang on it. Even that's like, it looks like it's all fucked up. It needs to be fixed up and painted and shit. The whole place is a fucking disaster. It's a dump. So anyway, but it's not funny having a tree come down. Fortunately, he wasn't hurt. That's a good thing. In all seriousness, that's a good thing. But I know what that's like, and I know what I went through with an insurance company. When I was married, we had a house up in Pine Hill Acres. It's called Pine Hill Acres for a reason. Acres and acres and acres of pine trees. It was up near the industrial park, very extreme north end. That's where we used to drag race. Right near the Freetown line. In Freetown, there's a lot of land mass. I think maybe 3,000 people that live there, We got 120,000 people here that live in this city. And Freetown's got more land mass than New Bedford here. A lot of forests, a lot of trails. Freetown State Forest, they have trails there. If your bikes are registered to your license, you can take dirt bikes and quads riding through there and shit. And they have park patrols, make sure you're not doing crazy shit. A few people unfortunately run into trees and got killed. Kids, doing stupid shit. A few ponds. And a lot of wilderness. And Pine Hill Acres was a development that had about 150 houses in it. A little more upscale, middle-class homes. Single levels, split levels, cottages, raised ranches as they called it, L-shaped. We had an L-shaped, 3-bedroom, bath and a half, kitchen, full basement. A pretty decent amount of land. Pine Hill Acres, acres and acres of pine trees. Now on the south side where we were, it was like a big semicircle, what they call it, a cul-de-sac. There were 2 houses for sale at the time when we looked at it. One was in the inner part where there were streets. And, houses are back-to-back, so your backyard is facing someone else's. Hey, you want to be sunbathing out in your backyard by a pool. You don't want somebody watching you. People got big, high privacy fences. The other house was actually a little bigger. And it had a garage attached for the same money. We bought that one for the fact that where this was, there was no houses behind us. There was about 10 houses altogether on that big cul-de-sac. Behind us was all pine trees. That's why it was called Pine Hill Acres. Going out about close to a half mile to where Route 140 ran by at night. You could see the headlights off in the distance going by. So for privacy reasons, we bought that house. And everybody there, we had our fence lines where our property line ended. Behind it was all pine trees. And that was never developed because all that land stretching back to the highway was protected state wetlands because of some plant and some kind of salamander, some lizard that lived there. So those wetlands had to be protected. If you know anything about wetlands, the ground, I'd venture out in the woods once in a while. It was always like a little mushy. It felt soft when you walked on it. compared to regular, Even some portions of, our back property lines, the land there was kind of different than as you got further up. I guess that's why they stopped building houses there. They couldn't go any further. And what are the trees? Slanted, tilted. Because the rooting is not that great in wetlands compared to regular, solid turf. And we get auto blizzards. Here we get a blizzard, it's like a hurricane, just with snow instead of rain, 70, 80, 90-mile-per-hour winds. And you could look in the woods, and you saw a lot of trees, all through, you saw a lot of trees down, blown right over. And they're completely uprooted with the roots completely exposed and a hole in the fucking ground, they just blow right over. Those roots can't really secure it good in there, Some of them are close to our houses, but fortunately the way the winds blow, the wind's directions, they never really came towards our houses. They always kind of went side to side and not front to backs, So there was no real danger except for this one blizzard we had, and it was bad. In fact, some of the trees in the inner part came down, took down power lines. I think we were without our power for like 5 days. No electric, no cable. That was the worst part, no cable TV. We didn't have cell phones back then, so we didn't have to worry about charging a cell phone, but we didn't have any telephones either because the telephone lines were down. People were buying ice, and I remember going to stores and buying fucking Coleman coolers to be able to put milk and shit in. We got the kids and, trying to do what we could to eat sandwiches and crackers and peanut butter and stuff that you didn't have to cook. Couldn't even use a microwave. We had gas for the stoves, but there's only so much you can do. You couldn't get meat and shit. You couldn't really store things. Boil water to make coffee. That was about it, really. Fry a couple eggs and hope the eggs stayed good. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. So anyway, about 3 houses down, one tree came down, took out the guy's fence, his shed, and went right across his fucking house. Right across the middle of the house. Its whole roof was all collapsed in. They had to leave. They had to be put up somewhere for a while, and it took a while. They had to rebuild the whole upper structure of the roof itself, and the damage down below the joists and the main beams, busted sheetrock walls, ceilings, the whole 9 yards. It took close to a year before he was back in his house with his wife. I got it kind of lucky. The one that came down, and we took out the fence, took out my shed, lawnmower, kid spikes, odds and ends in there, weed whacker, things like that. Took out the pool, had an above ground. It's like 30 by 15, 4.5 foot. A deck, and I had built a pressure treated deck all the way like an L shape around it, but it had the aluminum deck that came with it. We used the big deck, all pressure treated, smashed all the deck, smashed the fucking pool. The fence, so I had quite a bit of damage. But the house was okay, fortunately. So, I go to my father's house. I use his phone to call my insurance company. Hey, told him what happened. Unfortunately, you're not covered. That's considered an act of God. I went on. So you know how I feel about God, right? I was pissed. I said, you know what? Grab his phone book. Yeah, we use phone books, Or you dial 411 for information. So I called Our Lady of Fatima Church up in Sassaquin. That's part of New Bedford, but it's a little separate part, Sassaquin Pond. It's an annex of New Bedford. Like Freetown has a sonnet. It's Freetown, but a sonnet is an annex, a parcel of so many square miles of land. So that was a church in the area. I called Our Lady of Fatima Church, and lady answers, hi, can I help you? I says, yes. I'd like to speak to someone about putting in a property damage claim. She says to me, are you sure you have the right number? I says, yeah, this is Our Lady of Fatima Church, isn't it? She says, yes. I says, well, that blizzard we had a few days ago? Called my insurance company. I got quite a bit of property damage, and they won't pay. They said it was an act of God. So you're a church. You represent God, right? So I'd like to go there and submit my estimate for all my damage and have God send me a check. Seeing it's an act of God. He's responsible. He did it. I think he should pay for my damage. I hear a click. She fucking hung up on me. I couldn't resist. But anyway, she says, oh yeah, job is in a nice hotel room. Showing I got a microwave. Look, I got a TV with cable. Yeah, well, you didn't have cable at home, right? You had free over-the-air TV. couldn't afford a cable bill. He's got cable TV, he's got a bed, he's got a microwave, a little mini fridge, nice and clean. I wonder how long it's going to stay that way. So he's going to be there like 30 days. They're putting him up. The way he's a pig in a swab, I can imagine he's going to trash that fucking place by the time he leaves. How's he going to make his videos? Well, he can lay on the bed there. He just won't have that wall right up against him. You know, he said even in his house, you know, when he's walked in, he says, he's got real low ceilings. It's one of those prefab trailer park houses. That's what it is, a trailer park home. We got one in the city here in the West End. They're all, you know, they just don't have wheels. They're dropped on a fucking cement slab. You don't have a basement, no nothing. You know, a concrete slab and it's dropped on it. It's all a real cheapy fucking home. You know? He said, that thing's got, you know, he says, I never really noticed before, Brian, but when he's walking around the house, you know, Jabberine is 6 footer like me, or even taller. He's under 6 foot. And even then, when he's walking, the ceiling is barely above his fucking head. So anyway, I guess now when he goes live and he's laying on his bed, or the hotel bed, he won't have his teddy bears with him. He won't have that wall real close to him, you know, behind him with boom boxes and cassettes and VHS tapes and Hot Wheels cars hanging on the wall. I wonder if he's going to miss that, you know, now that he's in a whole new environment he's not used to. He's not used to being in something that's clean and it's not all cluttered up with junk, you know. So, but now something else, you know, now that everything's behind him, you know, somebody told me something. As of late, maybe this, he says, Brian, I'm wondering if he's finally going to take someone's advice, because he never has. He knows everything. Another quote. A man that thinks he knows everything is the most ignorant of them all, because he refuses to listen and learn. So he's had a few people for a while telling him on his chats and his live streams, hey guy, listen, you know, I don't want to tell you what to do, but maybe you should stick to cars. You say you're a car channel, a car guy. Maybe you should stick to cars and get away from all your drama and all your rants you're bringing into your live streams. You know, we really don't like to hear that. We don't need to know all your business. You know, you talk a lot about what you're going to do. You know, you're going to do the brakes. You haven't done it. You're going to do the interior on the Bel Air. You haven't done it. You're going to get it running. Still haven't done it. Are you even going to get this starter in? When you get, I guess this was before you bought his new starter. Are you even going to get that in? Or it's just things you've talked about, a lot of things you're going to do, but you haven't done it. All you've done is, you know, sand this and hit that with a spray bomb and take rust off of, you know, bright metal trim work. That's all you've really done. You haven't really done any work on that car in a very long time. You know, maybe if you stuck to that, more people would be interested in watching you. He says, but a lot of people come here and they see you going off on your rants and all this stuff, and they walk away. You know, and then when someone tells you what I'm telling you, you know, you block them. He says, you know what's funny, Brian? After that guy said that, he fucking blocked that guy too. He says, I wonder if now that Jabba's got a clean slate away from all that, maybe he's going to come back as a new and improved Jabba. You know, he'll just focus on the car. Maybe actually get things done on it for the amount of time he has left. You know what I mean? When his 30 days is up, he goes back there. You know, he still has the same situation with an ongoing foreclosure procedure. You know what I mean? Since Remax hasn't listed his house for sale yet. You know what I mean? And all his stories about everything now no longer exist, so nobody can throw that in his face. He'll just deny everything. Well, I never said that about the house. I never said that. I never said Remax. I never, you know what I mean? This gives him a great way to, you know, wipe his feet for everything that's come out of his mouth in the past that he can now deny. Knowing that no one can, no longer has the evidence that came out of his own mouth. Jabba, you are your own worst enemy. Shit, I'm going almost 20 minutes here. I really hope I don't go over my 90 minutes this week. But he said, yeah. So, but I know it's not funny. I am glad that it didn't happen when he said he wasn't home. He showed up home after he was getting a free lunch. Yeah, that's funny, but yeah. I got back from my, I went to go get my free lunch at the senior center, and I came home and cops in a tree, and, you know. But in all sincerity, I'm really glad he wasn't in there. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't injured. That's the main thing. You can replace other things, and believe me, it won't cost much money to rebuild that place. In fact, it'll be cheaper to just fucking demolish it, and build something new on it. If someone does eventually buy it, I don't think anyone would want to live in that mess unless it's fucking white trailer trash like him. They will move in there and go, oh, this is a lot better than our Winnebago with a flat tire. I'm tired of sitting in our living room that's slanted, At least it's level in here. Have a great day, everyone. Have fun and stay safe.